Determine the left-sided limit and the right-sided limit, and the two-sided limit as x approaches 0 of 1 divided by 1 minus cosine of x. Each of these involves the limit as x approaches 0 of 1 divided by 1 minus cosine of x. The first thing to do is try plugging a 0 in for each of the x's. That'll give 1 divided by 1 minus the cosine of 0, which is 1 divided by 1 minus cosine of 0 is 1, which is 1 divided by 1 minus 1 is a 0. That 0 in the denominator is not actually 0, since x is only approaching 0. It never reaches 0 here. But a limit result of a non-zero number over 0 equals to either positive infinity or negative infinity, where the sign of the infinity often depends on the side the limit is approaching from. We therefore have to work out each of the one-sided limits separately. We have the left-sided limit indicated by the negative superscript on the 0, and the right-sided limit indicated by the positive superscript on the 0. Let's start with the left-sided limit. We want to analyze what is making 0 in the denominator, and that's 1 minus the cosine of x. As x approaches 0, cosine of 0 is a 1. This is the left side of 0. The left side of 0 is a negative angle, and that will put it in the negative first quadrant on the unit circle, which is equivalent to the fourth quadrant, except negative angles. As x approaches 0, cosine is going to approach a value of 1, but it will be less than 1, because cosine never exceeds a 1. And therefore, the denominator of 1 minus cosine of x, with cosine being less than 1, like 0.99, will give a positive number, but it will approach to a 0 because cosine is going to approach to a 1. So it'll stay positive, but it'll be approaching to a 0. We can call that positive 0. The numerator is a positive 1. A positive over a positive is a positive. A non-zero over 0 is an infinity, and there's the result of the left-sided limit. The right-sided limit can be analyzed in a similar fashion. The right side of 0 is positive angles near 0. This will put it in the first quadrant. The cosine of 0 is 1. The cosine of something near 0 will be near 1, but it will be less than 1 because cosine never exceeds 1. And therefore, 1 minus something that's less than 1, like 0.99, will be a positive, though it will be near 0. So the 1 minus cosine of x can be replaced with a positive 0. The numerator is a 1. It's a positive 1. The positive over positive is positive. Non-zero over 0 is an infinity. And there's the result of the right-sided limit. The two-sided limit can be determined by the results of the two one-sided limits. They match each other, so the two-sided limit up here will also be positive infinity. And there's the results of the three different limits.